Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. So that's what this pause is.
You know what's not a waste of money? Buying some shit off our merch shop, which is, sponsoring our show. And this is the Lost Art of Common Sense, and I'm Kevin.
And I'm Josh.
So,
and let's not forget Matt.
And
Hi,
Matt.
everybody.
So, who bottom ticker thing lies? Bottom.
What?
Your little bottom description.
Yeah.
You do more than I do, but you don't do more than Josh.
Yet.
Awesome.
Maybe one day.
On the show, not in life, okay?
One day.
Yeah, no.
You got to focus it in.
In life, everybody does more than I do. Everybody. But yeah, this week we will be talking about the the deportations and the illegal immigrants that are in the U.S. that are, afraid for their lives, I guess, from what I'm hearing on the X left. They're all scared they're going to die and stuff. And people are crying for them. So, anybody want to talk about anything before we start the main topic?
Real quick, I did just want to say that since the accident, I have been thinking a lot about the families and everything. So, thoughts and prayers out to those who lost loved ones and are affected by the plane and helicopter crash.
Absolutely. And there was just a plane crash maybe a half hour ago, too, in Philadelphia. Yep.
I did not know that.
It looked like a Learjet crashed into a bunch of houses or apartment buildings in that area. So,
In the D.C. area?
No, this is in Philadelphia over
Oh,
a mall.
Philly. Okay.
In Philadelphia.
They're saying that they think that the way it sounds, it sounded like it was a catastrophic mechanical failure. It was a meta flight. I don't know if it was the plane was specifically set up for that, but it was 2 pilots, 2 doctors, a patient, and a patient's family member. And the plane basically was flying, exploded, and then just dropped.
Wow.
And then started huge gas fires and fires all over the place.
Yep. So,
Wow.
don't know how you're injured there. At least,
And it was some type of Learjet.
Yeah. So whoever was on the plane obviously did not survive. And I don't know how many on the ground. What happened there? So let's keep that in mind. Thoughts and prayers to everybody in the last couple of days to these aviation accidents. So, but we'll go to our main topic, which is, the border, kind of the difference in border politics and tactics that Trump's using and, what Biden had. So Josh, let's go with you. How are you feeling about the deportation efforts that Homan and Trump are doing?
Well, it sounds like they're doing a pretty good job. They're not happy with the numbers that they're doing, but because they want to do more. But I mean, he said he's going to do it, and they're doing it. And they're going to all these cities, and I mean, what are they up to? Like, they've deported a few thousand.
Yeah, I think it started with like 500. They got to about a couple thousand a day, I think. So, I mean, it's good. It needs to be up substantially higher, I think. And I think they want it too, obviously. So, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure if Tom Holman could snap his fingers and have like all umpteen million people deported, they would.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you guys remember the Obama years, because it was a while ago, so long so that the left seemed to have forgot that he deported 5.3 million illegals. Why was there no outrage then? Why is there outrage now? Is it just because it's Trump, or
Probably.
because of the aggressive nature that, he's going after these people and saying, like, get out? What do you think, Matt?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think people forget what happened yesterday when today is a new day and it's a new guy that everybody loves to hate. And he is not shy about it. And it's different because he's not making differences between, hey, you're here illegally, you're a criminal, and people are like, well, they're not really that bad. They're not You don't have records or anything. Well, you're here illegally. Yeah, you're a criminal. So I think that has a lot to do with it too.
Well, I think they're going after criminals first. Is what they're basically trying to do. Get the worst of the worst out. Then they're going to kind of branch out and just get whoever. But what do you guys like? This isn't a question that I
That's
put
why
up.
these sanctuary cities are actually going to cause nonviolent illegals to get deported
Oh
because
yeah.
they're going to go after them in their homes instead of in the jails.
What do you think about all these school
Hey,
teachers?
maybe I want to answer your question. Okay,
You don't get to.
it's not either or.
No, I was fine with Matt to say. I
I have a much
You
better
have no-
response than Matt.
Okay,
Okay,
let's go. Let's
here's
hear
what
it.
happened.
Sure.
So when Obama got elected, immigration was a big thing. So he's a deporter in chief. But because Obama came in and caused a shit ton of division in the country and started eroding away at the left's, numbers, after him, when Trump got elected, they saw we need to start importing voters and hopefully we can get amnesty. I guarantee you that's why they switched. It's not just Trump. Obama went not as far left as Biden did, but Obama tried to move the country left. They started hemorrhaging voters, so they had to start bringing new voters in. And I think their whole plan was to have some kind of amnesty plan. We're counting on illegals that got amnesty to be their voters. That's what I think happened. I could be wrong, but it seems to pass the sniff test.
Well, now Dr. Phil's getting involved too. He went with old Holman and got a couple people I saw.
Yeah, it's like celebrity raids.
Yeah, what I see.
I'm just here to help you with your emotional distress while you're getting your ass kicked out of the country.
That's right. What I
It's
see.
like, here, you're Dr. Phil. It's like, how do you know who I am? I have the TV.
In Connecticut, up to 40% of their voter roll was illegals.
That's always nice to hear. I'm pretty sure California is right up there.
Oh yeah. Then what? Like I said, this wasn't a question. What are you guys thinking about? Like these sanctuary cities, these mayors saying they're not going to help ICE, these school teachers that are locking like their doors and saying that if ICE comes in here, I got something for them, and all these like I saw somebody put a sticker and in a store window said ICE not allowed.
Which, if I was an ICE agent, that would be the first place I would check.
Oh, absolutely. It's just like, come here first.
Yeah, you're broadcasting that we don't have anybody.
Yeah.
These teachers are doing this because as of yet, the left hasn't really been held accountable for their stupid ass actions. Like the 2020 riots, all that shit, where people were arrested and then let out. So there was never any real consequences. Well, if they impede the federal investigation or capture of an illegal alien, they're going to be arrested, they're going to be charged, and they're going to be prosecuted. And as soon as the first, social warrior goes to jail, all that shit's going to stop. Because right now, everyone's like, I don't care. I'll do whatever. Because they literally don't feel like there's any consequences for their actions.
It already happened. It happened in Upper New York.
Oh, man.
A sheriff arrested somebody, illegal alien. He had priors and everything. Then he just let him go because they're a sanctuary city. Then ICE got him and then charged the sheriff for not holding him. So that's already starting to happen. ICE will come after you if you get in their way. And they have full jurisdiction. I mean, sorry, but they do. They're a federal agency. So suck it.
Look,
Do you guys agree with the military being at the border? Either of you? Let's go with Matt first.
I think there should be some kind of military there, but not. I don't know. I haven't really looked too much into that, but I don't think there should be a whole lot of military there. But there needs to be some more control to help out the border patrol.
I think they should have all the military there that they need, like what Matt said, but whatever they're lacking in resources to shut down the border and fend back the illegal entry into this country, I'm fine with. They're not down there with guns. They're all support. Like if something really kicked off, like with the cartel, they might, jump in. But
there's already been like crossfire with the cartel.
But that was with Border Patrol, not the military.
Well, I think they're down there just kind of keep the line if something actually happens and they're coming in.
Yeah, if something happens, then absolutely have military there and have them be in charge of the deal then if there's attacks and stuff like that.
I
Yeah.
also think they're there to kind of shore up the weak spots in the border.
Yeah, they're support. That's all
Yeah.
they're there for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, using the military planes to get people out of the country, yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. Somebody's like, oh, it costs like $9,000 per plane, like per plane. I'm like, good.
Yeah,
We're
well, if you add
spending
up the annual cost of every illegal on that plane, it's more than
in
that.
in 2022, we spent 160 billion between federal and state money. 160 billion on legal aliens. So whatever, as long as it doesn't exceed that, I guess I'm happy. Even if
I
it
don't care if
does,
it
I don't
does, if it
care.
corrects the problem.
Yeah, we've already paused foreign aid. Let's use it for us.
It's like they were saying. It's like, yeah, there's going to be a cost involved, but the future savings of
Yeah,
like not loss of life, shit
yeah,
like that. And it's like everyone tries to make that excuse. I'm like, well, we have rapists and murderers here. Yeah, we do. So let's not import more.
yeah. Why do we need more? Like, let's keep that to the barest minimum as we can. Let's not just ship in a bunch more rapists and murderers because, you gotta. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why you would want that, and I don't understand why these people are. I understand they're like, well, not all of them. It's a small amount. It doesn't matter.
Do you
It
have
should
anything
be
about Lake and
0.
Riley bill in here?
No, I think I got it in the what's happenings.
I don't think you do.
I meant to.
Well, we can talk about it here because I think.
Yeah, we can talk about it right now if you want.
Well, the reason why I wanted to bring it up, like from your last question, is doesn't that close or your last comment about the sheriff? Doesn't that close the loophole
Yeah,
for like? So now, if you're a sanctuary city and you actually act on your city's bullshit, whatever they call them, they're not laws, but referendum or whatever, you're breaking federal law.
yeah. And that's
So,
why
like, that sheriff should be arrested.
I think he's charged. Yes, I think he's being charged. And I think it's
So
because
as
of that
it's-
act.
Lake and
So-
Riley Act requires the Secretary of Homeland Security to take into custody aliens who have been charged in the U.S. with theft and for other purposes.
Yeah, basically, if they're a criminal, they're supposed to be held. ICE is supposed to be contacted, and you can't just set them free because you're a sanctuary city anymore, like what that sheriff did. Like once they're caught, they're supposed to be they're supposed to notify ICE. Is basically what it's supposed to be. So it closed the loophole of these sanctuary cities just letting out criminals because they're illegal aliens and they're a sanctuary city. Like, what kind of dumbass law is that? Why would you just let a criminal loose because you're a sanctuary city?
Well, and sheriffs can do whatever the hell they want. I mean, he doesn't have to do that.
No, whoever voted that sheriff in, whatever county, you're an idiot. So
I agree.
Or was it California?
Upper
New
New York.
Oh,
It wasn't New York City, it was Upper New York. So
New York, there you go.
like around the
Probably
Albany
the guy that
area, I
got
think.
the freaking squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah,
Probably
it's probably the
the
same
asshole.
guy that got the
Probably
squirrel.
the same freaking guy. Jackass.
Assholes.
That's right, Peanut.
Yeah, Peanut. Thank you.
Fucking
Let's go
killing,
raccoons.
killing squirrels and fucking letting illegal aliens go. That's what he's doing. I think the guy had like 14 previous arrests. So I don't know. It's just stupid.
Well, when you have a bunch of people coming over here
Yeah.
that have low skill sets, they don't speak English, and they're not properly educated, at least up to the standards of like being a productive citizen of the United States, they're going to resort to crime.
Yeah.
All of them. That's what
Yeah.
people do when they're desperate and they need to eat.
Yeah.
Or need housing. Or need money for whatever. They resort to crime. That's why there's a lot of crime in any city, in inner cities, because people are being raised and graduated without an education. So you can't actually get a job. That's why I get why people turn to crime. But, you get caught, you go to jail. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, exactly. There should be zero leniency. I'm sorry, there should be. You can talk about how far somebody should be, the amount of time they should spend in jail or probation or whatever, but I mean, you shouldn't just be like, oh well, just let them go.
Yeah.
So, like we all heard Columbia and what happened there, and Trump on the golf course saying like, hey, you're going to take your people, or we're going to put some big ass tariffs on your country.
Yeah, here's a tariff for you. Here's a tariff for you.
Yeah. Then they're like,
it wasn't just tariffs; it was sanctions.
Good luck. Yeah.
And they were going to kick every
sanctions.
single Colombian diplomat out of the country.
So then they sent their own plane to pick up the illegals.
Yeah.
They're like, oh.
But and then they're like, oh, Trump was so great to work with. He's such a good
guy. Like, but you think are other countries going to fall in line with us sending back their worst people?
Depends on the country. And what's going on.
What country's not going to bend to our will, though?
I think all of them will eventually. They'll test the waters for a while to see if Trump's bluffing, and then they'll fold. Like Canada and Mexico. They're not doing what they're supposed to. So
we'll talk. I mean, we're going to talk about this. We can't talk about it later, but why is he putting the tariffs on them?
Basically, well, it's two things. It's the border situation, and them not doing what they need to do to secure their side of the border.
That's Mexico, right?
Mexico and Canada. And it's like I guess it's the trade deficit. So we're not like, we buy a shit ton more stuff from Canada than they buy from us on a percentage level.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's like, until this stuff gets worked out, we're going to put a tariff on your stuff. And everybody's freaking out.
Who cares?
Avocado toast is going to be super expensive.
Don't they make avocados in California?
Yeah, but they make you weird.
Everything in California makes you weird.
Just saying.
Pretty much.
So, yeah. All of California makes you weird. Just being there makes you slightly dumber. So, have you guys seen any ICE agents in your area?
I haven't.
I heard there was a couple here where I live. Buddy of mine said he saw a couple people. There was one car, looked like a couple, it was like a roofing company type of deal. And all of a sudden, like 2 other cars came in with people, not uniformed, but just badges around their necks, and no kind of like special cars or anything, just undercover cars and shit. So I don't know. So it didn't look like detectives, but it could have been. But detectives usually don't come out for, even drugs and stuff. They don't. They usually on uniformed officers. So I don't know. That was one thing I heard here, but
I haven't seen anything here. I haven't seen anything here, but here's the story. This was like 12, 14 years ago, maybe. My dad was working on, I think he was helping build Buffalo Wild Wings in the area. And then there was another company, and they had their workers, and then all of a sudden a couple vans pull up. ICE agents pull out, and they're like, all right, everybody get in the van. They just took this whole company's crew and just like, all right, get in. So he's like, I've never experienced that. And that was really weird, because then it was just a few people left.
I've seen a few videos of people like construction sites. All of a sudden, like there's like barely anybody there because no one showed up to work, so they're afraid, they're coming to work.
Yeah.
So,
well, they're gonna be going after everybody, but yeah. The funny thing is we used to have a border patrol holding facility here. Now it's one of the contractors I know of bought it, so I don't know if we still do anymore. But like, I would say any industrial or farming place, according to what the left says, and hotel staff are going to be eventually getting deported. So,
or Tyson Food.
And everyone's like, oh, well, what are they going to do? I'm like, well, technically it's illegal to hire illegals. So
yeah,
obviously the company's not doing their due diligence when they're hiring people. And it's like the left's all mad that they're going to lose their servant, employees,
Now, if you got resident
the
alien,
servant
now
class of
as
the
a
United
resident
States.
alien, does that count? I mean, are they going after them or?
What do you
No, if
mean?
they're a permanent resident, then they should have
If you have legal status, you're not getting deported.
Yeah.
If you're a resident or have a work visa or whatever, you're not getting.
Yeah.
Because there are a bunch of people who cross the border every year for seasonal work.
Yep.
And
And
they
they
have
have
green
special
cards for
programs
that.
for that. Yeah. So, okay, that's what I thought.
It's the ones that cross over and don't go back.
That's like what they're saying. Like a bunch of people are crossing, like for these agriculture things, are like a lot of those people cross over just for that time of the year, and go back home.
Yeah, and there are visas for that, and then they do that, and that's fine.
I think Trump specifically said he's not going after those people. Or they're not.
Right.
They're legal, so they're fine. So people just cross illegally, and are not contributing to society or making it worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they took away a bunch of people's, protected status. Like those.
What do you mean?
Like I think Biden granted like some bunch of Venezuelans.
Oh, like
status.
refugee statuses.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that was like everybody that was in that town in was it Minnesota?
Ohio.
That he put that. Oh, they're all protected status.
Yeah, he took it away, didn't he?
No, they're eating the pets. They're eating the dogs.
Yeah.
That's false.
Yes.
That's fake news. It's fake
Well,
news.
except for the stuff you see.
Except for the stuff that people report.
Except for the stuff you see in the people at the town council being like, yeah, they're eating my cats.
Yeah. It's like, no, there's a noticeable drop in the pet population around here. So, of course, if you do have a cat, you shouldn't let it outside. So, whatever, that's bad on you.
So,
don't get me started on that, Kevin.
So, I want to go back to this. Do you think it's racist and or condescending when people say that we are sending back our field hands, maids, and custodial staff, and that
I mean,
that's
it is, but at the same time, it's kind of true. I don't know.
The fact that they're complaining about it, like, I mean, it's racist because they're just assuming that all those jobs are held by illegals.
Yeah.
And then they just assume that, and then they're just making the case. So what you're saying is all the people coming over here really aren't benefiting America. They're just like the people doing all the menial labor that Americans won't do because
we're lazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's true we are.
No, I'm not saying we're not. And a lot of people are lazy because they're allowed to be.
Yeah. So if you don't allow people to be lazy, then, so be it. I mean, good.
Mm-hmm.
Go get a job. Pick some grapes. Yeah.
But if you can get by with not getting a job and working a system or whatever, then, whatever.
I guess.
I took that $8,000 that Obama gave out for buying a first house. I thought it was stupid, but I was like, hey, you give me $8,000? Shit, I'll buy a house.
I also did that.
I'm really mad that I did not.
See? Of course, Matt, if you would have done it, you probably would have. There were two different kinds, though. There was one that you had to pay back.
Yeah.
So,
you guys hear the helicopter?
What?
You guys hear the helicopter around my house? No?
No.
Okay, I didn't know if that was
Is it coming after you? Is it the ice one?
Yeah, it's the ice copter. No, it's
Holman and Dr. Phil?
No, it's a medical helicopter.
We had 4 Blackhawks fly over. Actually, a couple bunches of them fly over Amarillo, headed west.
Ooh.
I don't know if it was for fire support or what, but you could
You
definitely
guys
tell.
Having fires again out there? Or,
we're not, but they might. I mean, they were headed straight west. Like they weren't heading. I thought they might have been heading south to assist with the border, but they were straight west.
Maybe they are doing it for help with fires because fire's still going in LA, aren't they?
Yes. Well, I don't know. They got a bunch of rain, but
yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's still. I know it's out of the news cycle, so it could be a huge inferno again, and you wouldn't know about it. And there's so much stuff going on that.
Yeah, I mean,
California National Guard supports wildfire response following devastating fires.
I mean, you would have to get a torrential rain pour to actually extinguish all the fires because there's just so much heat.
Yeah.
Of course, they were going, well, we're going from fires to now we're worried about mudslides.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to stop it because all the vegetation's fucking burn up.
Yeah.
So that's what pretty much holds the ground together is the slopes and stuff is the roots of the vegetation and stuff.
I agree.
So I mean, yeah, it could definitely happen. Yeah, I don't know. I find it weird. I mean, there's a meme that says, when slavery happened, the left was like, "Hey, why are you going to take away all our farm hands and workers?" And now in 2021, when the illegal immigrants get kicked out, they're like, "Hey, why are you taking away all our farm hands and workers?"
I mean, I'm just saying.
No, these
It
ones are
just
actually getting paid.
it just sounds so condescending. I know that they're probably not going to be doctors and lawyers, but I mean, still, it just seems like
Could be.
we need them because who else is going to do it other than these dirty Mexicans and Venezuelans and I mean, that's what it sounds like. It sounds so bad.
A lot of the stuff, if you actually like pay attention to what they're saying, that comes out of the left's mouth, when it comes to a lot of stuff, is actually super racist.
Oh yeah, like all that, like when Kathy Hochul said that she didn't know that the inner city New York kids knew what a computer was.
Or Biden saying that
Oh,
poor, what did he say? Poor
Black kids are just as smart as poor white kids or something.
whatever it was, it's just like super racist.
Yeah.
Of course, that dude just said a lot.
he said a lot. He said a lot of racist.
He got away with saying so much racist shit.
Yeah.
Like,
now he is not.
Even too.
Now, what's
He's
his face?
old
Cash took the mantle for the most recent person to drop the hard R on congressional record, though. So
did he?
Did he?
yeah, he was expressing one of the racial slurs that was directed toward him during all the hate that he got when the DOJ or somebody in the government leaked all of his personal information. And he was like, "Yeah, someone called me Sand Hard R."
Oh my god!
And yeah, like I figured he was just going to say like N word or what. Nope.
Said the
He
whole
went
thing.
right
Huh?
at it.
Damn.
And he said it with conviction. Now he's talking about like someone saying it to him, so whatever. But yeah, so yeah, he's the most recent person, and Joe Biden might have been the last before that.
Yeah.
As far as repetition goes, I think Joe Biden.
Better Grassley. No, not Grassley. Grassley.
If Grassley said it, you'd have to be trying to decipher what and how he said it.
Yeah.
I did realize he was the chairman for a while. And then I saw a video.
That dude is getting old.
91 years old. He needs to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like him and one of the other freaking old senators were having an argument going back and forth.
Oh, him and
I was just like,
what's his name from Kennedy from Louisiana.
Yeah, he's like, I want more 3 minutes. They got 3 minutes. Give me more.
Kennedy's
doing
funny.
a very good job.
I think he's funny. But he's a rhino himself. He's just funny while he does it.
Yeah.
His freaking response though to that one Democrat senator. I wish I would have pulled the tape, but he was I can't remember her name. She's just one of the stupid liberal senators, but she was like saying, "Oh, well, I could go on for hours to discuss this." He's like, "I'll discuss all your concerns."
No, that was a Klobuchar.
Yeah, and he's like, he's like, "Well, it's like, well, you got 2 minutes."
Yeah.
Oh, that was Cash. Good. Yeah, that was great.
So we'll talk about that here a little bit in a minute.
Yeah.
So to get back to it, do you think Americans are too reliant on illegal immigrants? Matt.
Yeah. I just think they're too reliant on the poor, but yeah, illegals. I think they wanna sound nice and be like, okay, yeah, we love them and everything, or other people are like, yeah, we want them out, but then at the same time, once they leave, and then they're like, okay, we're our workers. We're the people doing the jobs that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah. I mean,
if that makes any sense, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the country has become too reliant on low-paid labor. I mean, what people don't understand is if people got paid. Now, granted, if you're not overly intelligent and you're working just a straight manual labor job, you're not going to make as much money as a doctor or whatever. There's always going to be people who make more money than somebody, unless you're
Absolutely.
Elon Musk for now.
Then you make more money than anybody.
But if you had to make it to where you basically people need to work, period. But if people made more money, the market's always going to correct for itself because they're all like, "Oh, this is going to make everything so unaffordable." Blah blah blah. It's like, well, people are making more money, they're spending more money, this, that, and the market will correct itself. You're always
Yeah.
going to have a middle class. I mean, back in the the 50s, where the middle class made up a majority of the country,
Yeah.
and everybody was making decent money. There wasn't rampant inflation, and people, and not only that, those were all single income households. They bought a car, they bought a house, they went on vacations. So it's not like it can't be done.
Let's be honest with this. This all happened for the government. All these government programs. Once government programs got involved, people figured out they don't have to work. So, I mean, that's
Well, the only
basically
thing I can think of is like, because what was it, Rockefeller who started the feminist movement?
Yeah, I think so.
It was a dude, it was a mogul
Yeah, I
that
think it was
started the
Rockefeller.
feminist movement.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you now have all these dual income housings and people still can't afford to live.
Yeah. It's
Because,
crazy.
I mean, well, you got all these people earning money, so you got more demand. So I guess, supply has to go up or whatever. But I mean, I think people should be pissed off when you look back not that long ago and whether you're like, oh, well, the monarchy and toxic masculinity and blah, blah, all the bullshit stuff the left says. But
I mean, if you really want to blame the housing crisis on this, blame BlackRock. Blame these corporations that are buying up houses.
yeah,
They're the ones buying up the houses. They're the ones making housing unaffordable by paying too much for houses to have.
that's why I'm super happy that actually benefited me in multiple ways. But because of that, right after I bought my house, they upped it by like 50,000. So, and because property tax is unrealized gains and they screw people over, it's like, sweet.
Well, it's just weird how much housing has gone up in 5-6 years from when I bought my house.
What I don't understand is if you buy a house, how do they, whatever you paid for the house, set the market value for the house? My house sat for like 10 months.
Yeah.
Possibly because of the location and possibly because there's random gunfire heard every now and again. Could be
Yeah,
fireworks. You never know.
Is it coming
got the
from
same thing.
your house?
I mean, you got to keep the property tax down somehow.
Yeah.
But like, and then how do they justify it saying, "Oh, your house is worth like $50,000-$60,000 more"? I'm like, I just set the market value. I just bought it.
I don't know.
They need to pass some federal thing that says whatever you bought your house at, that's what it's taxed at. I get why you pay property tax. I understand the reasoning behind it. But whatever you paid for your house, that is what you're taxed at.
Yeah, agreed. 100%.
Everyone's bitching about unrealized gains. Like, what the hell do you think property tax
tax
is?
is? Yeah, it's exactly what it is, especially when it raises.
And if they really want to clear out a neighborhood for development, that's all they got to do.
Yeah, just
Come
raise
in and
property
jack
tax.
up the, reassess everybody's houses, jack up the values to where people can't afford the property tax, and then they get evicted, and then they come in and take the land out.
Yeah, but didn't Amarillo,
Totally.
didn't certain cities get sued for that?
Amarillo's been sued a couple times because of that.
Yeah.
And then they just go through and they never lower the tax rates or anything. They just went around and devalued everybody's house. And then they just slowly keep creeping it back up.
It just went back up.
Like, hey,
It's so
you guys
stupid.
want a bond to redo the Civic Center? And then you find out, like, I remember the first time I heard about something, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And then I found out that even when the bond's paid for, they keep charging you it. So ever since then, I've never voted yes on anything the city wants to do.
Yeah. So
I'm like, nope.
I'm going to ask you this, Josh. Then I'm going to go into another question that has nothing to do with the main topic, but it has something to do with tariffs. Should Trump follow through with tariffs on any country that doesn't take back their citizens?
Yes, I think you should. I think you should do whatever he can. If he can do sanction work, tariff work, whatever. It's like, nope, you're taking them back. And I know a lot of these countries don't want them back because they sent them up here for, everybody thought Trump was crazy. Oh, they're sending their criminals and they're crazies and blah blah blah. And then you find out, no, that was true. That's what they were doing, and they don't want them back.
Yeah.
At least he's going to be supposedly storing them down in the old Gitmo.
30,000 of them at least.
The really bad ones until they get to where they're going to have to take it. I mean, because our economy is moving along strong enough to where, and we're a self-sufficient country. We could totally be self-sufficient if we wanted to. We could be isolationists and not rely on anybody.
Yep.
Everything we need for a prosperous nation is in this nation.
Yeah.
And possibly Greenland. But
yeah, I think there's some rare earth metals that we may not have.
So they can make a bunch of stupid batteries.
But we might. I mean, Alaska's basically untouched.
Yeah, you know why? Because people die there.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few places you can literally just go fence off an area and be like, yep, this is mine. You can still homestead up there.
Yeah, and they pay you.
I'm going to homestead an entire mountain.
They pay you to live in Alaska. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's from oil revenue.
Yeah. So tap that, There might be rare earth metals, and there's a bunch of gold.
Yeah,
watch
tap that.
Move to Alaska.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that gold whatever mining show on Discovery.
I could deal with the never-ending night. I don't think I could deal with it being daylight all the time.
Yeah, let's get some blackout curtains.
Yeah. But yeah, if it was like, when the time of year where it's dark like 24 hours a day, that wouldn't bother me.
I don't think it's like midday daylight. Like it's like dusk.
It's still pretty bright all year. Like not all year, but during that time, it's pretty well bright all the time.
Like it's like the sun never fully sets, but it's not like midday fucking bright. It's more like a 6 p.m. kind of right before.
I don't know. I saw the proposal and it was not like that.
But that's when I don't think movies are completely accurate. That's right. But
everything Ryan Reynolds does is accurate. What are you talking about?
Yeah, shut your whore mouth.
Yeah, Deadpool was dead on for,
that's all reality.
All reality. But I don't know. I remember. I could deal with all night time. That's cool with me. Other than the vampire thing, like from 30 Days a Night, but that'd be bad. But vampires can completely just roam free for 30 days.
Well, yeah.
No one wants that.
Or Pitch Black.
Do it anyway. Or what?
Pitch Black, when all the angry flying alien crosshead things come out at you with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Pitch Black and Riddick.
But yeah, I think he should, and I think it's a good idea. I mean, that's the most direct thing, especially if you have a country that's why Colombia folded so quickly, because they are very reliant on their economy as far as their exports to the United States. So anybody who is reliant on the U.S. market, they can talk all the shit they want, but if he tariffs them or even puts a ban on their products, they're going to fold because they can't afford not to. Their currency isn't the world currency to where you can be stupid and print as much funny money as you want and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's going to matter here pretty soon if we don't do something, but yeah, that's why we can get away with it.
Matt, do you have anything to follow through on the tariff question? Okay, well, I got another tariff question. Trump proposed getting rid of the income tax and just going to a pure tariff system to fund the U.S. government.
You mean the way it used to be before income tax?
1870 something, but in 1870, like 79 through like 1890 or whatever, 1913, when we went back to income tax. Yes, it was prosperous, but the government was so much smaller back then. So is it possible, do you think, to take away income tax, federal income tax, and go to just a pure tariff system?
I don't think so nowadays. I don't know enough about,
especially with the debt.
I don't know enough about it, but with how things are nowadays, I don't think they could do that totally. I think they could partially go away from it, but I don't think it'd altogether get rid of it. No.
I think you'd have to weigh the amount of goods coming to the United States and then calculate out the percentage of tariffs on those goods and the likelihood of people continuing to buy those goods and see what you're left with. I think relying
I'm
on
all for it. I
tariffs.
think taxation is theft. So
No, it is theft. I get why we pay taxes, but I think they should go to a tariff system and a federal sales tax. I don't think
agree.
tariffs alone, unless they drastically, and I mean drastically, cut back on the size of the government, I don't think tariffs alone will be able to do it. Now, it depends on what they're doing, because if we get money from, I don't know how we get money, but I know that the United States gets money from selling, like exporting propane and natural gas and stuff like
Oh,
that to
absolutely,
other
yeah.
countries. So if you're making money off exports and stuff coming in, it might work. I mean, if we became energy dominant in the world and have the world buying a majority of their energy from us, then yeah, we could be like Saudi Arabia, where like we pay $1 for gas, and you know, and we're like, oh, you turned 16, here's your government funded Lamborghini.
yeah,
I mean,
well, that'd be effing awesome.
I mean,
But I think, like you said, I think the best way to do it is a tariff system and a flat tax. So like 3% flat tax on all goods and services.
yeah, I would be fine with that. It takes out all the loopholes. Doesn't matter if someone's illegal, a drug dealer, a criminal, whatever. Everybody's buying shit.
Yeah.
So
I'm down with that.
I would be
Quit
100%
taking the
fine
limit.
with that.
Which I don't understand why they haven't done it. Or I know it's been proposed, but I don't know why they. Is it just too much change?
I don't know, because there's a lot of people that want more money. It's like when Biden was bragging about, cutting the deficit. I'm like, yeah, you're cutting the deficit by raising taxes.
Yeah.
It's like you're spending more, so you tax more, and these morons think that somehow that's going to work, and it never does.
No, it doesn't.
And they're always like, oh, no, it's like, the reason why things are good under Trump was because of Obama, and the reason why things were bad under Biden was because of Trump.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not how that works.
Egg prices are down, so, even though they killed 100 million chickens.
Yeah, no. It's like right before they leave, they're like, oh, bird flu, kill 100 million chickens. Trump gets elected. See, eggs are more expensive now.
It's been 2 weeks.
I went to Target the other day. The whole egg section was empty.
Did you see?
Yeah, there's a shortage of eggs.
Yeah.
Did you see that
prices
meme?
are down or up. It's the fact that there aren't enough eggs.
You know the meme from the hell's that vampire movie that was all the rage in the early 2000s?
Buffy?
No, it was a movie series. Twilight.
The movie series. Blade?
Twilight.
He said Twilight because Josh is gay.
So you know that no, like
I ignored Twilight's existence, okay?
But there's a meme out of there where the one vampire is all like, and it's like people that have their own chickens, because that is huge down here. I know tons of people that have their own chickens, and I was like, "Do you need eggs? I will take some eggs.
Give me eggs. Give me the eggs."
In fact, it's chicken time, coming close at Tractor Supply.
Chicken time. Oh, where you can get chickens?
Every time for I don't know, the last 20 years, I'm like always this close to buying a duck and making it a pet and naming it Howard.
Dude, I'm
afraid my cats would eat it though.
When I was a kid, we had 2 ducks, right? I think it was Daisy and Daffy. And Daffy was a dick. I mean, he would bite me.
You Daisy had pet ducks?
We had pet ducks.
Did you get them from Farm and Fleet?
I think we just got them because we were hunters.
Just grabbed them out of the pond.
You know what? We murdered your mom.
Like, you're cute. Come here.
Don't you worry about it. I can't remember because I was very small because, but I do vividly remember that damn duck always chasing me and biting me. So that's why I didn't mind go duck hunting. Fuck that duck.
Probably watched you play Duck Hunter.
Is anybody paying attention to the comments?
No.
Let's see. This is what it is like in sitting around in a tavern circa 1975.
1775.
1775 Revolution X? I don't know. Maybe.
Probably.
Well, we're drinking beer. And we're just...
This is Tavern Talk.
Hell yeah. That's basically what we model our whole show about.
pretty much.
There's some guys that sit around
Beer.
talking and drinking beer.
And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's my buddy from Ohio, buddy B.
Ohio.
Had a lot of good times up there. It's fantastic.
I had a few good times in Ohio.
And
mean,
everybody
okay.
knows when you're drinking is when you solve all of the world's problems. So what we did is we took it one step farther and we record it and send it out live so we can go back and figure out how we did, in fact, come up with a way to save the world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
you're welcome, world, if this happens to save it in 10 years.
Now, you got anything else?
Nope. So let's go to winners and losers.
Winners and losers of the week.
In my book, you're a winner too.
I think you're a loser.
All right.
As always, we always start with the negative. Josh, who is your loser this week?
My loser is Anthony Mackie,
Mm.
actor who took over for the communists. He used to play Captain
Why
America.
can't we just find
Is
out?
everybody a commie? What?
He is
No,
a
he was.
communist.
He
Have you
was a
ever heard
communist.
the shit
Yeah.
he says?
Yeah.
But this is why.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those
Maybe it
representations.
should be Captain United States.
It's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor,
Captain
dignity,
American
and
Golf.
integrity. Someone who is trustworthy and dependable. It's kind of. This is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors, I believe, want to get back to that day before someone told you no. When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons to save the princess in the tower, that kid really believes there are dragons out there. That stick is really a sword and he's really trying to save that princess. And then one day somebody told him, no, there are no dragons, that's not a sword, and that princess is not there.
Still.
And all
Yeah,
of
you know what?
little-
If somebody would have told a lot more people no, we wouldn't have as many weirdos as we have now.
Well, I mean,
So
I
there
don't,
is no lack of telling people no.
listen, I don't mind most of that because I believe, a lot of what he said was true. Other
Except
than
for
the
Captain America does mean America.
Except for the America part. Everything else he said was correct. It can be America and the rest of the stuff. I mean,
So did
I've
that
always
dude's
liked him.
character actually replace Captain America in the comics?
yeah, they replaced him with a couple guys. Like,
Yeah,
there's
he
been like
goes-
4 different Captain Americas.
I think
Like,
the
there's no-
problem is
just
the time we're in. There's
movie.
it's not going to work. I can almost guarantee you that movie's going to flop.
Probably.
Well, the show did okay. Captain America and Winter Soldier, that did okay. So then they're trying to do this movie, and they're having Red Hulk in it with Harrison Ford, which I think they got Harrison Ford to
Lame.
doesn't flop. But yeah, I've always liked Anthony Mackie. I always think he's hilarious. And then I heard this interview, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
really?
I mean, I like a lot of the movies he's been in. It's just I just hate how people always are trying to deconstruct shit and make it deeper than what it is. You play a comic book character, dude. That's it.
Well, and that's the thing. He's also employed by Disney, and everybody in Disney lately has just been freaking cuckoo. Like freaking Snow White, the chick who plays Snow.
Oh, yeah.
Snow
No,
White
she's
is just.
batshit crazy.
Oh
Did you
my
see that when they put out the trailer on YouTube, it has a 96% negative rating. It just broke 1 million dislikes.
Jesus.
Yeah, that movie is
I
just
don't-
destined
It is
to
going
fail.
to tank.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're just going to go straight to Disney Plus and not even put it in theaters.
I don't know. At this point, they could just not release and write it off as a loss. But
Yeah.
Well, that's what DC did with Batgirl, and I don't even know why they did that. They just were like, we're not.
oh
gonna
my god, Batgirl was so horrible. You know what we need for Batgirl? Let's just make her a lesbian,
Yeah.
an angry, short-haired lesbian.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
That was the CW one.
that was the CW. I was talking about the movie. They were making a movie, and Brendan Fraser was in it, and everything like looked positive for it. And then they did a screening, and it didn't screen very well, I guess. So they were like, okay, instead of even putting it on Max or putting it on anything, we're just gonna
Agreed.
Yeah.
I never even heard of that.
culture.
What's that?
Batgirl?
Batgirl.
No.
Yeah. Look it up. It's like it was supposed to be a
It is
interesting
man.
movie. What? What What'd you just?
That's the Batgirl of CW.
No.
Probably going to be played by a dude.
It's like, so we have so and so in here to talk about Batgirl.
Yeah. Oh, we talked about it last week. That's who I talked to about the Academy Awards or whatever. Nominating a
What?
dude for.
Why are you gay?
Oh yeah, we did.
So Matt, who's your loser? Did you have one?
My loser is probably Blake Lively. We're still
Yeah.
on this. Yeah, she. Have you guys heard of the lawsuit she's doing now?
No.
What's up, J Red?
So
Well,
in
you're
her
already
new
an hour
movie,
late. But what's up, buddy?
Don't listen to Kevin. We love you, buddy.
so she did this new she did this new romantic movie, whatever, based on a book.
I know exactly what
I
you're
guess it
talking
did
about.
pretty well,
Do you?
huh?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So she did this movie, and then she like totally destroyed the press tour and was doing all this. So she was like, "Hey, I'm going to sue the director and my co-star for sexual harassment, and I'm going to try to me too him because he's pissing me off and he's pissing Ryan Reynolds off. So I'm going to do this and say he sexually assaulted me and harassed me and all this stuff." Well, the director has all this stuff called footage and text messages and all this stuff about them getting along, and he's released a lot of it and saying, "Hey, this stuff she's saying never happened." So she's basically getting caught in lies, and then he's countersuing her, and they're Ryan Reynolds and Blake were trying to like take over his movie and rewrite a bunch of stuff and all this stuff, and now they're
Man,
trying
let's
to
be
get
honest. It
it
probably would
dismissed.
have been funnier or
Yeah,
more
probably.
sarcastic.
Like people would have watched it. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Blake Lively was still in movies.
She was in Deadpool 3.
Well, I mean, I knew that she was in
Yeah.
her husband's movie, but I mean, but
Yeah, I
she was
didn't think she
also-
really
her
acted
face was
much
covered.
anymore. Was it a Hallmark
It doesn't
movie?
need to. No, it was a movie.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like she did this long lawsuit, and then everything she said can be proven on tape that she's lying.
Yeah, he released it, and he just released footage like behind the scenes stuff. Is like, you are full of crap.
Let me up on pop culture, Kevin. God.
Well, hold on though.
And then,
But
yeah,
all three of
then
us have
Taylor
picked
Swift got dragged into it.
an actress or an actor or actress as our loser of the week because I picked Selena Gomez for what Josh is about to play.
Why was Selena Gomez your loser? Oh, yeah, this is why.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people
Even
are
though
getting
I was born in America.
children.
Yeah. She says, I wish I could do something. We'll take him into your house.
I don't
Sure, it's big enough.
understand. I'm so
Oh, that one
sorry.
burned out.
I wish I could.
I wish I could do something with my billions of dollars.
What to do? I'll try
Nobody cares
everything.
about my feelings.
This is my favorite video. I don't know why. It's so stupid.
And this is what America cares about your feelings. I think
This
she
is why I
actually
love
deleted this
America.
video.
This is why I love America, though. I mean, I just gotta love America because this make the dumbest shit. Like somebody has time just to make the dumbest shit on the internet.
Well, that was the thing I was thinking of, and then I saw a thing. Megan, I think it was Megan Kelly or somebody said the same thing I was thinking. Is you want to do this thing, and you think it's a great idea to start bawling. You take the time. It's like, yeah, I'm having a real moment. Let me videotape it and put it
Yeah.
on live, and just totally.
Like we don't care.
embarrass myself.
Like no one cares that you're crying about illegals. I'm sorry, no one does.
You know, honestly, I'm glad she did it just because of all the memes that have been
Oh
made
yeah,
about it.
absolutely. Like that one that Josh just played. That I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's just awesome. It's just my favorite thing ever.
All I'm saying is, it's bad, but I'm drawing a lot of joy from this.
Oh, yeah. All right, Josh, who's your winner?
My winner is JD Vance, and I wish I would have pulled the clip, but for basically telling Margaret, I don't care.
I don't care, Margaret.
I don't care, Margaret. If they're illegal and they're violent, I don't care where they're at. I don't want them in my country. Period. Because during the entire interview, she's still basing it off of law-abiding illegals, which is a double conundrum.
Yeah, they're
Or
illegal.
entendre or whatever.
They're criminals. The moment they step into our country without the proper documentation, they're a criminal.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I don't care, Margaret. And that's the way people should be. Non-political answer. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care. Matt, who's your winner?
Probably. I think we're going to talk about it, but Cash Patel. I was listening to some of his meetings and everything, and it was great. It was funny. It's like that again when we talked about the one congresswoman. She's like, "Yeah, I'd like to have 5 hours to read your other deposition or whatever," and he's like, "You got 2 minutes."
Yeah.
And he just did not.
Yeah,
care.
he knocked it out of the park. I think.
Well, he knows that. I'm pretty sure he's a lock for the
he's going to
Republican
get
vote, so it doesn't matter.
I think and we'll talk about it later. So, my winner is Tom Homan because we are. I mean, like I said, we started with like 500 illegals being deported in the first day or getting caught, and it's gradually moving up every day. So I think he's doing a good job. Hopefully, he wants to get more and more. So he's not content. And he's on a mission. So I'm gonna say kudos to him. He's doing a good job.
And he also has a not give a shit attitude.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm just tired of all the political talk. Politicians have been politicians for a long time, but I'm over it.
I mean, I've been over it since we started. I mean, before we started this podcast.
I mean, it's even like with RFK and his shit. Like all these people are talking shit about this, that, and he's like, yeah, you say you give a shit, but are people healthier? Do we not have an obesity problem with our children? It's like, and everybody, diabetics on the rise, autism's on the rise, all these problems are on the rise. Like
we're trying to fix everything with pills.
Yeah, it's like what you're doing is wrong. It's something needs to change. Period.
They're trying to fucking give Ozempic to like 10-year-old kids.
Yeah, and like I don't know when you're out and about and you see a bunch of obese kids, I'm super judging their parents.
It's like Bad Santa. That kind of kid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our winners and lose. Now it's time for Trump Truth.
Trump Truth.
What I say is what I say.
My Trump Truth is pretty funny. It was, wow. Really good news. Jim Acosta, one of the worst and most dishonest reporters in journalistic history, a major sleazebag, has been relegated by CNN fake news to the midnight hour, Death Valley, because of extraordinarily bad ratings and no talent. Word is that he wants to quit, and that would be even better. Jim is a major loser who will fail no matter where he ends up. Good luck, Jim. And that was the Trump Truth.
What I say is what I say.
Good luck, Jim.
Good luck, Jim.
Put good luck, Jim, at the end. He called him a sleazebag, no talent. What else did he call him? A major loser. Then he's like, good luck, Jim.
Good luck. Have fun.
I ain't gonna lie. He is one of the funniest people.
Well, it's like when he was talking about Buttigieg, and he's like, just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. I saw that too.
Sir, you don't have good presidential speak. Let's roll into happenings of the week.
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening? What is happening?
Yeah, what you got, Kevin?
Maybe a reason we didn't hear about California lately is Trump did open up pipes in SoCal to Southern California and the wildfire areas. So maybe that is helping, and plus the rains. So I guess it is pipes.
Army Corps of Engineers, National Guard go up there and do that, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, and they're still there just assessing all the damage I just read. So.
He was like, well, it wasn't just some pipes and stuff. I think it actually was.
Well, and I don't know if it came out public, but he was talking about there is some kind of thing that the federal government can do where if a state is like completely failing, that the federal government can actually come in and take over.
Good.
Like I think it's got to be pretty bad, but I do think that that's a thing, and that might have been because like they just went in and did it. I'm like, nope, this is happening.
mean, it happened in Major League Baseball when the Phillies? Was it the Phillies that Major League Baseball took over? Or was it the Expos?
Can't remember.
I don't know. I didn't
Probably
know
They
that
did.
happened.
Like they ran it so into the ground that Major League Baseball was like, "No, we're running it now."
Panera Bread had to do it with the restaurant here in town.
Oh,
Really?
see,
Yeah. For one, they build this brand new Panera Bread.
yeah.
And I get it. In order to get to it, you kind of drive into like a plaza area, but they built the restaurant backwards.
What?
So, like from the main street, you're looking at the back of a building.
What kind of moron built that?
How?
It's like at what point? Well, this is
Just
the
start
road you
building.
get.
Somebody just had the plans back or upside down or something like. Oh shit!
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, like if you're on the road where you turn into it, it's facing that road. But the main road where all the people are like, "Hey, man, one of those baguettes from Panera sounds quite delicious." And you see the back of a building and the drive-in menu.
What the fuck?
And then their manager was crap. They're always out of everything. So the actual corporate had to come in and like fire everybody, take over the franchise.
I mean,
Tear the building down and rebuild it.
yeah.
And we had
I
had
mean,
one before and it failed. They brought it back and it's like, well, you're off to a great start. That's right, Amaryllians. Check out my ass. Just dumb.
yeah. So, what do you guys think about the government freezes and like the foreign aid freezes, the government grants? I mean, do you think it's a good thing, bad thing, foreign aid, all that shit?
I don't know enough about it. Sorry.
I think it's a fantastic
we've cut
idea.
off all foreign aid.
I think it's great. I think all that stuff needs to be assessed to see
Yeah.
where. I think that's what they did. They froze it while Doge is going through all the money going everywhere and
Just to make sure it's
assessing
in
like
the right
why
place.
we should be sending money to these places. Like, and then they're
Yeah.
like, oh, well, Medicaid or Medicare went down and no one can blah, blah. I'm like, that was because of a cyber attack that had nothing to do with what Trump did.
Like $50 million of condoms to Gaza.
Okay.
Oh,
So
got next
I
episode.
think either someone's just an idiot or they did that on purpose. Hamas uses condoms to make floating bombs.
Yeah,
They literally fill condoms with helium
then they put like
and
incendiary,
float bombs over.
Yeah, then they put incendiary devices attached to them, and they let them float over to Israel. And when they pop or whatever,
Isn't
they
there
just
like
drop.
maybe 2
Trojan
million
Max
people in
thing.
Gaza?
I don't know. It's not many.
It's like everybody gets 25 jimmies. Don't go put
Dude, I don't
bombs
think
on
they
them now.
believe in fucking contraceptives.
No, I'm pretty sure they don't.
So
But,
I
like,
mean, it's
I
all
heard
this
that and I
useless
thought it was
spending.
crazy. And then I was like, oh, yeah, they use it for delivering bombs. I'm like, whatever. And then I'm like, no, they literally do that. They
Yeah.
showed a bunch of Hamas terrorists filling condoms up. And you got this bomb, this small bomb floating up in the air with a bunch of blown up condoms.
That's fucking.
And that's why I was like, well, shit, they must have known they were doing that. So what are they arming? We're gonna send Israel more munitions for their Iron Dome, and then we're gonna send Hamas a shit ton of jimmies for their floating condoms of death.
It's just crazy. It's just
That's hilarious.
so.
I never
Josh,
heard that before.
So Josh, in case you want to once we get big enough, podcasters and influencers are now allowed to be part of the press corps in the White House.
Well, if people like, subscribe, share, and comment,
Exactly.
we might get enough followers to justify getting that. So,
What was there? What they say? It was like 10,000 people like applied to be able to go.
yeah,
Something
they're
like
like,
that.
well, everybody and their mother, including us, has a
70
podcast.
yeah.
Oh,
It'd
you
be
have a
like us.
podcast?
Yeah. It'd
Come
be
on
like us.
now.
It'd be like us and our fucking 3 subscribers being like, yeah,
Yeah,
we should
more
get a
than 3.
press credential.
Here's what, you know what? Comment below if you agree, but I think our production value is pretty decent compared
Top
to some of these other
fucking
people that have
notch.
tens of thousands of subs.
Yeah, we should.
You know,
if
but
you
we're
would
not going
like,
to get hateful,
subscribe, and
Kevin.
share.
We're not going to get hateful. Just like, share, subscribe, comment below.
We'll eventually get hateful. It's been 4 years, people.
That's what these help with. The bitterness.
Right? The bitterness.
Nobody's gonna see this. No.
So anymore, if you have gender dysmorphia or you're a trans person, you're out of the military.
Bye, Felicia.
What do you
Yeah,
guys
that's
think?
what was ironic about that. It was a false rumor going around about
It was a false rumor.
the helicopter pilot in the crash in Washington being a
Hmm.
transgender person. But then it dawned on me, I'm like, well, that person is alive, came out and said they're alive. They don't know about the rumor. But he's not going to be in the military much longer.
Yeah.
And I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's not only because
It's a mental condition.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it is.
and it depends on, like, it's different between, it's going to throw off morale and mess with, the ranks and stuff. But if somebody in the military is transgender and they're actively working on transitioning, as in, i.e., they're on some type of hormones, that shit messes with your brain.
Yes.
Which means I don't feel overly comfortable with somebody like that operating military equipment and weaponry. And I don't care how people feel about that. That's just how I feel. So I'm fine with it.
Agreed.
There are actually, and it's in the military. Like, you can't be deployed if you're even on if you're on any type of medication, you can't be deployed.
Unless you're on. I mean, you got to be on medication if you're. I mean, let's be real. Like, if you're don't know what your gender is, you're probably on some kind of medication, anyways. Right?
Probably.
Some depressant or antidepressant or.
I'll be back.
Okay. So Matt,
Yep.
did you hear about this DeepSeek from China? The AI.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. So basically, what it is what China did is DeepSeek is an AI like Chat GPT.
Okay.
Only they're using microchips that are like $10 million or something, like $10 million worth of microchips and stuff like that, while we're using microchips worth billions of dollars to do the same thing. So basically, China found a better way to do AI like a Chat GPT for a lesser cost. And it's just as good. The one problem with it is, if an American uses it, I mean, China does get all your information and stuff. So, I mean, they do have that.
There's good and there's bad.
Yeah, the CCP does take all your fucking information. But I mean, it does use, like, it's amazing what they did because it actually works. It's not like a fake, like, hey, like people here have used it and said, no, it's just as good as like Chat GPT. Now it doesn't have the AI functions like, self-driving cars or the, I don't know, any kind of AI kind of function. It's just like a Chat GPT and that's it,
Yeah.
The deep fake stuff like that. It can't do that. But I mean, basically, what they did was use a lesser microchip, and they basically did the same thing for a more expensive microchip. So technically, China is better at AI right now.
Josh Allen got an AI robot and he gave it to his old high school, and it's gonna. He put like two different or a couple different designs in it,
is it?
and he can. No, it's not a sex bot. Close, but no. It paints the football field.
No
They
shit.
just put a track in there, and it'll paint the football field. It'll do whatever designs.
See, that's who can pick our crops.
Supposedly, Elon's coming out with a personal robot that'll cost around $20,000 that everybody can have. And someone asks, "Are you going to be able to do it?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, but as of right now, it'd be like making love to a slow-moving washing machine."
Oh my god!
You can always count on me to jump in with some random shit.
I was gonna say, I was like, "Where's this go?"
Oh, that's fucking awesome!
I heard that in a Tucker Carlson and that British dude Piers Morgan interview.
Oh, Piers Morgan.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like doing it with a slow-moving washing machine.
Lord.
Call this the.
I like how people are always like jumping to like, "Hey, can you fuck it?"
Yeah, it sounds good, but can I put stuff in it or what?
I can paint a football field. Can you fuck it?
Well, I mean, like, hey, why can't they pick our crops? These AI machines.
So I heard that AI with China though, that
They
is
can
like
in Interstellar.
their stuff. Like, so what they did is like, oh, we made this, which they tested it, and it's biased as fuck.
Well, I mean, it's
They stole what was made over here and they did it cheaper, like they literally do with everything.
yeah, but they made it cheaper.
They made it cheaper, but it didn't
More
really advance it,
invasive.
and it's not that good of AI.
No, it's about 90% like as efficient as Chat GPT.
Oh yeah, ask it about the Uyghurs or
Well, yeah,
Taiwan.
no, it's super biased, but I mean, like this random shit, it will. But I mean, like every AI, it's got parameters. Like that's AI isn't AI. You know, it's got parameters. AI, like artificial intelligence, is
I'm
technically
just
supposed
saying,
to be
like,
a sentient.
they found out a way to make it cheaper based on what was already done. So it's not like they're really pushing the forefront of it.
Well, they made it cheaper.
Yeah, I don't. It still needs to be tested. I
I'm just
just
saying,
don't.
like anything cheap.
I think
That
it's one of those like, you guys don't even have 6th generation
if anything,
fighters
it's going to
yet.
help us because we're going to be like, hey, China did it for $10 million, where you guys are trying to spend billions. Why can't you
Well,
do it? I mean, but also, I mean, like again, AI, you shouldn't be able to set parameters for AI. But
Yeah.
then it gets super racist, like it did with Google.
They're racist towards AI.
No, the AI got super racist because it kept
did it?
reading like comments and stuff from people like throughout the internet, and it just got really racist after a while.
so it had bad teachers, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, America. like
I wish I had
So
a
so,
way
I got
to.
that way a little bit too. Like,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah. You
buddy.
got to set some. You got to set some parameters, but true AI is supposed to be
I
like
just
a
don't think it's as
self-sufficient,
big of a deal as
sentient.
what they're saying. I don't think they're going to be able to surpass us based on that. That's all.
No, but they made it cheaper, which I don't think is a bad thing because I mean it's bad because China.
It
But
was
I know
really bad for Nvidia.
oh yeah, they lost like $600 billion.
Yeah, but out of the last like
It
4
it it
major stock drops, it's been them. So that thing shoots up and down.
it shot up again too. I mean, it's going back up because
Well, yeah,
everybody
when they found
realized.
out the AI wasn't really as good as what they thought it was.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to add on the plane crash and with the
Well,
Blackhawk and
I went back and I saw a tweet that Matt Walsh has been talking about this for a while. So I'm
okay.
going to play a video that rolls into the plane crash that we're going to be talking about, and then I have a little thing about talk about it as well. So this is what he was saying back in November of 2023.
In 2013, when the Obama administration embarked on a plan to diversify the ranks of air traffic controllers. Obama's FAA chief at the time announced that he intended to transform the agency, which includes air traffic control, into a, quote, more diverse workplace. As part of that plan, air traffic controllers no longer needed to take a more demanding cognitive assessment before being hired. Instead, all they needed was a high school diploma and the ability to speak English and apparently to do very basic math that like a third grader could do. All the tests were dumbed down to the point of being absurd and pointless. Now, the result over the past decade has been exactly what you would expect, even if you haven't heard about this. The number of air traffic controllers who are not white men has significantly increased, while the number of white men has decreased. That was the whole idea, according to the FAA. This is what they tell us. Coincidentally, so have the number of near collisions involving commercial airlines. Those have increased significantly. According to a database maintained by NASA, which relies on data self-reported by pilots, the number of near misses has more than doubled over the past 10 years. In just the past year, there have been more than 300 near misses involving commercial airlines, averaging more than 5 per week. And just to emphasize that point again, they diversify the FAA and near misses immediately double.
Yeah, that's what he was saying back in 2013.
That is Matt Walsh from Daily Wire.
Yeah. Wanted to make sure we zoomed in to show exactly when this was put out. Because he's been talking about it for a while. I don't know why. He's been talking about this a lot for a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. That's why I think Trump was justified in coming out and blaming DEI, which I will
Man, you really
explain.
zoomed in there.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to make sure people knew. But yeah, this is the actual crash. And it's weird because it looks like the helicopter is literally making a beeline for the plane.
Well, you see the other plane, right? I don't think and let's be real, the FAA guy was doing the job of two people.
Yeah, I think ultimately this was because people are like saying he's making a beeline, whatever. But when you're at an airport, those are all fixed lanes. Departing, approaching, that's all fixed airspace. So you can have, if you don't have people paying attention, you can have intersecting lines of travel.
Yeah.
Like in that one video, he went on talking about how it was a private jet owner or whatever, but that was taken off, and he didn't hear or wasn't listening, but he lined up on the wrong runway. He even didn't repeat the same stuff back to the controller, and
didn't they move him from one runway to another?
Yeah, he was supposed to go on
he was
runway
supposed to be on a parallel runway.
He was supposed to go on runway 1, and he got diverted to runway 33.
Yeah.
Well, and then the pilot in the plane landing was like, no, he's in my runway. So he diverted and swung around again. Now that was because the air traffic controller wasn't paying attention. Same thing happened in Germany where, this one, the TCAS system went off. I guess that only works like above 1,000 feet or something. There's some ceiling to it, or there's a floor to it. Because if you're too close to the ground, it doesn't work. So that's why that they weren't getting warnings like that, like you should. But it happened in Germany where a TCAS system went off. One plane listened to it. The other plane listened to the air traffic controller, and it caused a collision. Incidentally, one of the family members of the people that died in that plane crash ended up murdering the air traffic controller.
That's crazy.
Just throwing that out there.
But I guess
I think DEI is to blame for this. I think Trump is correct.
Yes, because they couldn't hire enough. The FAA is not fully staffed.
Yeah, it's not like you had. I'm not saying it's to blame because
staffed.
You have some incompetent person that was hired strictly for their sexuality, or they were blind, had no arms or legs, severely mentally impaired. This is just a list of the things the FAA was looking for. But because of DEI, they weren't filling the positions that they could have with white people. So
who applied?
DEI caused a shortage. Like that airport is supposed to be operated by like 30 or 30 plus
I think there's 19,
air traffic controllers, and they had 19. Yeah. So DEI is 100% to blame.
And another problem was the Black Hawk was only supposed to be at a ceiling of 200 feet. It was at 300 feet when it collided with the plane.
Yeah, and they were running on the night vision goggles. They were doing visuals instead of using their instruments.
Yeah, they were going dark is what it's called.
They were flying VFR.
Yeah.
Which is okay, whatever. And then I was listening on the radio in that morning, and they were talking about, well, if you're flying where the helicopter is flying and you look around, there are a lot of lights for the city. So he thought he saw the plane, but it was really the city. But then you go back.
I think he's looking at the other plane. There's two planes in that video. I think
that's where the air traffic controller kind of messed up. When you have that much air traffic, you have to give a very specific heading, like, do you see the plane to your 11 o'clock or whatever? And they just said, do you see the plane? Yeah, I see a plane.
Yeah, wrong plane.
And I think it's weird how they've been able to figure out two of the three service members on the helicopter, and they won't release the third.
I think it's from the family's request.
Flying
the family's request is not to release them. The name.
But there was 60 plus people who died.
I get it.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'll be back. So you guys need to keep talking about this or the confirmation hearings on everybody else.
Confirmation on everybody else.
Like RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Patel.
You know what? You're gone. No one's hearing you. I took you out of the scene.
So I do want to say something. I just looked up how many, because I heard one thing that Reagan Airport is notorious for having close calls and almost really close calls. So I looked it up, and it says over the last 10 years, they found that there have been 11 reports of aircraft getting too close to maintain safety during takeoff, landing, or while approaching Reagan National Airport. It's unclear how many of those 11 incidents were officially investigated. Of the incidents reported, 5 involved commercial planes and helicopters.
Well, they have a few things going against them. One, they're one of the shortest runways in the country as far as a class. I'm assuming it's Class A airspace, and it's horrendously busy. Plus, they do military training there. They've actually been like trying to close that airport down and move it because of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's.
And it says two of those 5 incidents were specifically related to runway 33, which is where this accident happened.
Yeah, so I mean, it is very. I don't understand why. Now, granted, the helicopter and the people flying in that helicopter are generally moving VIP military personnel around and stuff. So I get big cities, you have helicopters flying around. That's just what happens. But I think you could probably cut back on the military training around that.
You would think
And here's
so.
the thing. So we're talking about AI.
Trump automatically, he just said there's no more helicopter traffic around that area.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. But wouldn't AI be a perfect tool to use with air traffic control?
You would think so.
I mean, you give it a strong enough database, and its entire reason for being is to monitor all the air traffic and guide all the air traffic in. So you're not having to, you give it a language model. I mean, that just seems like the perfect application for AI.
Agreed.
There's no human error. There's no tired. There's no blinking. There's no, oh, I forgot to tell them this. Oh, I forgot to tell them that.
I had to go pee.
You program them with
Take a
all
shit.
the scenarios on what to tell them to do this, to do that. And they can, as long as you got a powerful enough processor, an AI could literally monitor every single plane in the air coming toward an airport. Now, if it went crazy, yeah, it could intentionally just direct all the planes together, and that's probably what would be somebody's big bitch about it. I'm like, well, then maybe we need to pull the reins back on AI. But
yeah,
like I was thinking about that. I'm like, this just seems like the perfect application for
You'd
AI.
have to test it out somewhere, not somewhere super.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't just like, hey, let's put this in New York, LA, and Washington.
Yeah, let's
and if it works good, then we'll apply it to Moline International Airport.
Let's put it at the Marion Airport.
Yeah, there you go.
AI literally fell asleep from the lack of business.
Yeah.
There's
one forgot what it was doing.
What I do want to say this though, and you guys probably aren't going to like it, but I don't care. I do agree that the DEI did have a lot to do with this. Yes, I did not like how Trump stated that in his first speech talking about it. I think that could have waited till later, and once they kind of did more investigating into it. But on his first speech,
I agree with
started out great. I listened to it and it was good. But then, and I kind of laughed at it. He was like, let's do a moment of silence. Everybody join me in a moment of silence. He did not wait a second. And then he just went into his next thing. I kind of laughed at that part. But yeah, I just didn't like how he got into politics and kept pointing fingers and blaming everything else on it instead of taking that opportunity and just saying what it was. But
what I did like was when the reporter asked, was like, "Are you going to visit the site?" He's like, "What? The water?"
That was good. I did like. He's like, "What do you want me to do? Go swim?"
Visit the families. Here's what I'm
like: "Are you going to visit this crash site?" He's like, "What? The water?"
Where is the line drawn between politics and just telling the truth? That's what caused it. They're running understaffed because they're not hiring enough people because they're looking for a specific kind of person other than just hiring people that can do the job. That's why it happened. So what is the difference between politics and just telling the truth? Because you're not going to fix a problem until you
No, I get that. I understand that. And I agree he should have said something to that, but then he just kind of went on and kept bad mouthing everything else and made it about not that accident.
Was that
He
the
made it
same
about
thing where he
something.
said the thing about Buttigieg saying it's just a bunch of bullshit?
No, that was the next day.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
think he
know.
could
I
have
mean,
waited
he's
to attack. I think what he said needed to be said, but at a different time. I don't think he should have went off on the Biden administration and everything else at that time. I think it should have been, here's what happened. Yes, DEI was at fault for it, but not attack everything when it should not have been said at
well,
that
I
time.
think he was personally. I think he actually gave a shit. I think he was mad that it happened.
Oh, I agree.
So
And
I
he
think
just,
that, and he
when he
doesn't
gets mad,
have
he
that.
just
I
goes
don't
off.
want to be a Trump apologist. Like he has. He talks a lot.
Yeah.
He says a lot of words.
Yeah.
But like I just he doesn't have that. Obviously, he does not have that filter to where he's
Yeah.
just like, this is why it happened. Blah blah blah. We're gonna fix it. Blah blah blah. He's crass.
No, he's gonna say what's wrong. Why it
So
happened.
yeah, I mean, I get why that, and like it's like but it's the same thing with Democrats jumping on gun control as soon as anything happens with a gun.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, and I get pissed at that too. That's why I don't, other than for this podcast, I don't really take politics too seriously because I always hate all their bashing everybody and not reading the room on things.
Oh, just wait, man! Because of this podcast, you're gonna become super political.
I probably will.
Listen,
even though our funnest shows have nothing to do
about
with
something
politics.
other than politics every week, I would. There's just not enough interesting things in the world to talk about for every
I mean, you
week.
could look up the Blake Lively thing. I mean, that's just golden.
I am not
That's
going
gonna
to
make
be
Johnny. That's gonna make
news. All right,
that's gonna make
fuck that
Johnny
shit.
Depp and Amber Heard trial just look like shit.
Have we done
I
an
just don't
episode on
care about
alternate
celebrities.
dimensions?
About what?
Alternate dimensions, multiverse.
I
Multiverse?
think we did multiverse, didn't we?
I don't think we did.
It was before I was here.
We did simulation theory.
I think that's what I'm thinking of, but God, I can't believe we wouldn't have done one.
I don't
on
know. We might do
multiverse.
one on that
I mean,
because
we did one on the Mandela effect, which is kind of.
we can always get into politics during the happenings of the week. So
yeah,
but we did not get into the confirmations yet.
No, do you guys want to talk about? I mean, is there anything?
I just don't understand why. And maybe you guys know, why is Tulsi Gabbard so much more controversial than RFK?
I don't know.
Which
I
one is
really
she?
don't. And I think it's a personal.
She's the
vendetta
Hawaiian
because-
Democrat congresswoman who
Oh.
left the Democrat Party, and they're saying RFK, who's got like literally like bear heads, dead whales,
What was her name?
heroin addict, Tulsi Gabbard. Like he has a bunch of whatever, but they're like, oh, he's a 50-50 toss up, and Tulsi Gabbard, oh, I don't think she's gonna make it. Like, I don't understand why there's so much controversy behind Tulsi Gabbard.
I actually like her.
I do too. I think it's this vendetta.
Mm.
I think Democrats just don't like her because she used to be a Democrat. She ran for president as a Democrat, and now
Won't
she's
call Snowden a
And that's
traitor.
probably why Republicans don't like her.
yeah. But I mean, Trump. She's I don't know. She didn't say that Snowden was
No, she won't say that he's a traitor.
no. Said what he did.
I don't think he was.
illegal. There
He broke
was
the law.
other stuff he stole that
Look,
was
anybody,
he did sell information to Russia. So I mean, yeah,
Well,
he was a traitor.
but like releasing information and waking people up to the massive.
No, he did
data
some of that
gathering
too, but he
behind
stole
it
a
the
lot
US
more
government did.
information than that, though, which is where his traitorous.
Well, yeah, so he's probably right in the fence.
Then he went to China, then Russia. So I'm just.
I don't know. I just, as far as what he did,
I
to
think what
opening
he
up
did
people's
was
eyes
yes
on the giant data farming. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, no, what he did was good, but also bad because he also sold intel to China and Russia. That had nothing to do with the intel gathering. It was other shit took. So he's also a traitor.
Well, then he
You can be
probably
both.
should. Yeah, I mean, you still should go to prison, but
Oh,
cool
absolutely.
with,
Is-
I
did
appreciate what you did. See you in 25 years.
Did he do? I mean, does he live in America anymore, or does he live
No.
somewhere else?
Lives in Russia, doesn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was in
Does
Russia.
he still live in Russia?
I think so.
There's no way in hell Russia is
According to the
gonna.
movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he does.
There's just no way in hell that
Since the
Russia
last
is
time I
going to send to the
emailed him,
United
it
States.
was in Russian.
Yeah. Does Snowden still live in Russia?
Russia is not going to extradite Snowden.
No.
Yeah. In October 2020, he was granted permanent residency in Russia. In September 2022, Snowden was granted Russian citizenship by Vladimir Putin.
Probably because he sold him a bunch of fucking U.S. secrets. I'm
More
just
than
saying.
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah.
Is there anything else from the confirmation hearings that you guys saw? Do you think any of them won't get confirmed?
I don't know. It all depends on how much. I
know
Trump said if he doesn't get the cabinet he wants, anybody who votes against him they're basically going to cut them off financially from the RNC.
Yeah, I know that Nicole Shanahan, RFK's vice president nominee, pretty much said that if you vote against him, she's going to try to primary you. She's a billionaire.
Has Kennedy been?
No, he just.
I don't know if he's even made it out of the initial committee yet.
No, he's made it. He's done his two. He did 2 confirmation hearings, and
so is there a vote with that, or did they just send a suggestion to the floor?
No, everybody reviews the confirmation hearings. Then if they have more questions, he's got to answer them. Then after he answers them, it goes to the floor.
So no matter what, it goes to the floor. Like they don't have like, oh, we're not going to send him because we don't like the way he talks.
It'll go to the floor.
What did you think about his grand nephew mocking him?
The gay one?
I don't know. He's the one. He literally came out and made fun of the way his great uncle talked.
Dude,
he sounds
JFK's grandson. He's like, he thought it'd be a good idea to make a TikTok video making fun of the way RFK talked.
Who is that actor? I need to.
He's not an actor. Who are you talking
about?
No,
he sounds just like you seen the movie Warrior with Tom Hardy?
No.
His dad. The MMA one?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I don't remember it though.
It's that guy's been in so much stuff.
I'll tell you what though, I was listening to his confirmation hearings. Holy shit, I feel bad for the guy. He is hard to listen to.
He is hard to listen to.
That's gotta be frustrating as fuck.
Nick Nolte.
Oh yeah.
He talks way worse than Nick.
Every time I see him, I just think of Nick Nolte.
It's like, dude, you can stop doing the Nick Nolte impression. We get it.
All right, well, that's all.
Even looks like him.
That's all I really have on happenings of the week. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about.
That's all I got.
All right, well, you know what time that is, Josh.
What's slur of the week?
What's slur of the week?
What's a honky?
This week's white slur of the week, I actually take personal offense to. It's flat ass. Refers to the flat backside of white women or men compared to other races. Flat ass.
What's a honky?
You know, Matt, you can fix that by doing squats.
Yeah. You know what? I do. And it's been flat my whole life. I played sports and flat as a fucking pancake.
I take personal offense to this white slur of the week.
I'm glad we're talking about Matt's
It is an
ass
epidemic with white men too. So,
Matt, that wasn't derogatory towards you. I've never looked at your ass. So.
I would.
The next time I'm in the office,
yeah. Now it's going to be hard to keep my eyes off of it.
I'm going to stay in my chair. You can't see it. If I need to get up to go to the bathroom, I'm just taking the chair.
Now I know why they call you a carpenter's dream.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Well, all right. Well, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Josh.
And I'm Matt.
And this was The Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Keep that bundle spinning.
And remember, don't be boring, be a pirate.
And stay classy.